Hello, Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I'm Hyper G, Lucky, Sixio, Sexio.
Lucky Sexio. I
There you
like it.
are.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
I thought
right.
thought you would.
2025.
It'll
That's what I'm going for.
new name change, just to
Yeah.
freshen it up a bit.
Lucky
Yeah.
Sexes.
It'll stick. It'll stick.
Absolutely.
It might not.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so we're finally finishing the Wales
Oh my
tour.
goodness. Doesn't it
Yeah,
feel good?
it does. Well, maybe. 3.0 in its version it was in at that point will be
Yes.
behind us after this because we'll never play this version of the game again.
Never. Never. We
Ever.
refuse.
Yes. Because yeah, we'll go on to what current 3.0 is very soon.
We will. We will.
Yeah, so let's finish off with the Saurian Ancients. King Don of Equitaine
Mm.
is my opponent, a different type of Don. King
He
Don.
he is, to be fair, he's the Don
Yeah, I
of
mean
the UK
Rory
scene.
kind of is.
Of
So
London. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He's the King Don.
He's good. It was quite cool because I actually had lunch with Rory. I think before knowing that we were against each other.
Oh.
So it was like
Was
one of
it the
those.
day of his daughter's wedding?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ask him about that.
Hmm.
It was all game based.
So there was
Yeah,
no favors. No.
no.
Okay.
I don't know what you're. Yeah. Anyway, I'm rolling with it. Yeah. So King Don and I had lunch together, and yeah, Rory and I were quite excited about finally getting to play against each other because we'd not managed it
Yeah.
before now. And yeah, he's a legend of the game, so it was going to be a treat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
A
yeah,
pillar of the community over in the
indeed,
UK.
indeed, yeah. And I was just talking to him about loads of other games he played, so I've come away with about 19 other things that I want to
Yeah.
try. So which is dangerous for me. But anyway, yeah, double cowboy, Sync veterans doing what they're supposed to do now. And yeah, there's my list. Mystics still in instead of the Anorak. So yeah, it's
I mean, if
yeah.
you're not
I'm
familiar
not
by now, come on,
exactly.
guys.
Yeah, I just can't be bothered really. It's there. It is. That's the
There
list.
it is. Pause it,
There it
read
is.
it,
Yeah,
get to grips.
yeah. Mhm.
However, we do have the King Don.
Oh, King Don. I don't know what any of Equitaine does when I look at these lists. I just like all the upgrades. I'm like, yeah, okay. They look really good.
There are lots of
So
upgrades. Although
yeah,
not so
he's got a
much
Duke.
in. Yeah.
Hmm?
You're saying not
Oh,
so much with. He's only just got the Destria with just generosity as an upgrade rather than Finbar.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what does Uther's metal do? Not a clue.
I think it's
you
the
know,
Spear Lance, isn't it? That one.
spear lance.
Yeah, so it's like a whatever area attack.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't remember what it did. If he
sure.
did it, so,
Well, that's yeah.
I don't. Yeah,
Name of
that's
the
it.
game, really?
Indeed, indeed. But there's probably all changed now anyway, isn't it? So
Yes, it probably is.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. So we've got a Duke BSB on a horse. He's got a folk hero on foot, I believe. Just checking to see if there's a horse hiding in there. Don't think so.
He's a
Um,
Quinn, so he's got some magic as well.
yeah, I got some magic in there. Goes in the unit of men at arms, I think. Um, and they're castle guards, so they're coming out of special rather than core, which is kind of like the upgraded. Is it? Are they what used to be the
Is it
knights
Knights
on foot?
Forlorn?
Or
Yeah, possibly.
yes, but basically, yeah, they're a special thing instead of a core thing. I think.
Hmm.
Big unit of Knights of the Realm with the damsel in, I believe. Well, the damsel might have actually been in the Knights of the Quest. Now that I'm looking at it, but I'll
And
know
and
that when I see it.
and if that's the same, it's probably a win for you with the Banner of Roland in that it's you can't stand and shoot him.
Right, exactly. And I don't have any stand and shoot. Well, I do actually technically have stand and shoot on the Sking Javelins, the Hunters. So dang, can't
No
stand and
moral
shoot with them.
victory for you.
No, indeed, yeah, yeah, precisely. But I'm not sure that banner is all that useful anymore, with nothing being able to stand and shoot these days. So yeah, he's got a unit of 8 mounted sergeants with, and they were surprisingly tricky, as you'll see. Um, lowborn archers, and some yeomen. Everyone loves the yeomen. 2 scorpions and the double Fey Knight, which is really awesome because I mean one's the Green Knight and one's the Snow Child. Definitely gets the vote for cool naming for units. Snow Child, I like that, and everyone loves the Green Knight, don't they?
Absolutely.
But yeah, just looking at this, I was like, this looks like it's got everything. Like in combat, it can power through me. It's got enough magic to cause me problems. There's a bit of shooting here or there that I need to be aware of, and it can move. And I was like, this is a really good list. I guess I'm getting to round 5, and I'm thinking, people have grasped 3.0 and list building far quicker than I have.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I wasn't being the greatest tournament I've ever had in the world. So I was sitting on 29 points and and feeling a bit bruised by the stage of the tournament. And then going into this one, and I know Rory's a good player, and I'm looking at this and thinking, this is a good list. Here we go.
Here we go.
Played the same one as you did, which is good, because that's what you're supposed to do, which is deploying in the middle and spreading out from there.
Always a relief when you hear that.
Yeah, indeed. And the hidden agenda was all on the secondary. So we'll see what I got. In fact, we got the same version, well, different versions of the same thing, kind of thing. We were both choosing terrain pieces and trying to either stop your opponent from getting in them or trying to get in them, basically. But there was a lot of restrictions over what terrain pieces we could choose on this one, and because it has to be more than 12 inches from any table edge, and so he was trying to get into it. I think he was trying to get into one terrain piece to seize and secure it, and I was trying to stop him getting into it. And I think we've ended up choosing the same one pretty much. So there's kind of like a double whammy. It's like everything is going to happen here. Because there was only one to choose, and that one is pretty obvious. It's the ruins in the middle. So because everything else was within 12 inches of a board edge, all was impassable. So not a lot of options really in terms of that, and considering the secondary objective is the primary objective,
is everything.
It's all 4 points on that. So I didn't really fancy my chances of stopping him from getting into it, if I'm honest, because it's like you have to be quite aggressive, and you don't want to be aggressive when he's got units that can thunder down that hill and charge you with full power. Which is pretty much what he's set up to do. So looking over at Rory's side, he's got his 2, I've already forgotten what they're called, Fey Knight people.
Fey Knights,
one's a Green Knight, one's a Snow Child. One's behind the house, so you can't quite see him. The other one is next to the Knights of the Quest, and they, I do think, have the damsel in. Then he's got a Scorpion on the hill in between them and the Knights of the Realm. Then he's got his mounted yeoman. Then he's got his peasant archers, then the men at arms, then the mounted sergeants, and a Scorpion just at the back, rounding out his list. I mean, on paper it looked like a bigger army than that suggests, but that's because everything went in there, everything. So,
with the characters and stuff,
combined quite nicely. I've got Ramphrodons on my flank. I think they've already vanguarded to that position to be out of charge range with the Fey Knight on that side. I've got my Raptor Riders with both cowboys firmly in there now, especially because he's got 2 Scorpions, so I don't want to give him targets, just pop a cowboy here or there. With the Carnosaur in. Then I've got a Mystic unit. The big unit of Tegu Warriors has the Thyro Scooters in. I think I made it the big unit because I know I've got to defend that terrain piece, so I was like, stick that right in the middle and try and spear him out, really.
It makes sense.
Which is great against armor, so I've got a chance.
Yeah.
To get in that terrain piece and discourage him.
At this point, it's lethal strike, isn't it, against armor?
Yes, lethal strike against Swift Stride. Yeah, so I just need to make sure I'm not the one doing the charging, really. So
I
mean, but then again, if I am, that's probably a good thing against his chargy knights. Yeah. So I could probably do without it if I am charging.
Win-win, you would say.
You would say. Then the small unit taking warriors, and then unit mystics and the hunters with both skink chiefs. Then wow. They're doing what they should do.
It's funny. I always have this chat with Raughri, and we've played several times, and we've had a few KOE offs as well. And we were always talking about the Scorpions versus Trebuchet thing. I'm obviously
which we know which side you sit on. Yeah,
Team Trebuchet, and he's Team Scorpion. It's funny to see that in his list.
Yeah. I want you to take a note of one other thing on the battlefield for Q6s. I don't know how many pictures it's in, but just keep your eye on that beer. Yeah, genuinely, keep your eye on that beer.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's my kind of
keep
job.
your eye on that. Yeah, we'll see how many pictures that beer gets in. 2. No, there's another one. There's 2 pictures so far. We should have a clock going up.
Beer count. Yeah.
Yeah. I get first. Do I get first turn? It does look like I got first turn. And I just move up fairly tentatively. His charge range is humongous on those hills. I mean, not that the hills is giving you a reroll anymore. I don't think.
No, but still, no, I don't think
but
so.
It still makes you feel like they've got a larger charge range than they have.
Yeah.
Because they're just cavalry. They've got a really long charge range. My Raptor riders don't even come close. There's a big difference between movement 7 and movement 9 in this game.
Did I see a Stalker standard on one of his units as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think
it was a BSB maybe.
Knight of the Realm.
Okay.
Possibly, but there is one there, so one of them not going to worry about the ruins at all.
Yeah. Quite important.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. So I move up fairly tentatively. The Ramphadons go round the flank to try and entice one of the Fey Knights out that way, just to try and goad it out of the way more than anything else. I don't really expect the Ramphadons can deal with either of those Fey Knights, but if I can keep the Fey Knights out of the middle, then that would be my ideal plan for that situation. But yeah, it's a fairly tentative move forward. Other than that, I've got double molten copper, which I plan on using, and that's pretty much my strategy turn 1 because I've got no other range, and just so I do get a molten copper off, and I also put fortitude on my Tegu Mystics because I know they're going to get shot. That's the 5-up fortitude dice, so I have to sacrifice a magic dice for that, which limits my magic phase a little bit, but I feel like they're going to be a prime target. I do manage to kill 2 sergeants. This is where I find out that those sergeants have got something where they regrow a model every turn or something ridiculous.
They're the old Ordo sergeants, aren't they? I don't know what
and I'm just they're unkillable to single molten coppers. I've only got molten copper.
Yeah, if you weren't happy with how much damage molten copper did before.
I know, yeah. And they're regrowing one every turn. So this is the best picture of how molten copper gets on throughout this entire battle, where I do 2 and he recovers 1. That's the best outcome I get in the entire battle, in that little thing. I mean, but the whole battle changes anyway, but you'll see. I think we're on picture 4 of the beer already.
We are. Every picture. 100%.
Yeah. I know, yeah. Raughri comes forwards a little bit, and also quite tentatively. No one moves off the hill. He's quite happy with his position. Happy to, kick things off a little bit. And yeah, all pretty standoffish over there. And I think the other side, it's literally just a case between the Ramphadons and the Fey Knights, because Raughri takes the bait to some extent. Not with both, because Rory's far better than that. But he doesn't give me the option to fly over because 1 would charge if I do. So he kind of moves up with 1 and stays back with the other one. I was a bit annoyed that I allowed him to get out of my line of sight with my Raptors. I could have really done with stopping him from doing anything on that flank.
Yeah.
So I was annoyed. I think that was a bit of round 5 fatigue coming in there.
Yeah.
Because it was so easy for him to get that Fey Knight out of my Raptor charge. And if I just stop that from happening, then his Fey Knights are pretty much going to stay there until I'm ready to move my Raptors. And I'm not going to move my Raptors until he moves his Knights. He's not going to move his Knights until I move my Raptors. Yeah. And we go in full circles, and we potentially have a nice little standoff with me keeping my terrain piece safe. Is what I should be going for.
So it's I've already advantage Raughri at this point.
It is now because of this simple moment where I've allowed him to get his Fey Knight past my Raptors. Yeah. He puts illusory paths, which is the awesome random movement spell, which Tony laughs at me for saying it's so powerful because it was in the old version of Ninth Age. So nothing's changed. It's just all of a sudden feels like it's more useful now for some reason.
It's just been used against you, and you're like, what?
Yeah, loads of times I'm suddenly playing against witchcraft every battle. But I let this off because I'm not planning on moving those Tiger Warriors. So go for it, mate.
Yeah, and random movement now is that you can move up to, isn't it?
Yeah, you can choose just to not move for random movement. So I was fine with not moving at all. He does some pew pew, kills off a Tegu Mystic there, which is fine. Oh, there comes the beer again. Kills 2 Tegu Mystics. Funnily enough, they had the Fortitude. The other ones didn't. And I lost more on the Fortitude unit, but go figure. That's fine. I do, in my turn 2, I do a bit of a shifty with the Hunters going in front of the Tegu Mystics because they're far more expendable in terms of losing them to shooting, etc. And I also kind of plan on it. I would love Raughri to just charge the Hunters so I can flee and then fight him with my Mystics. But he's not full for that, is he? You know,
Come
on,
Raughri.
Full for one of my badly disguised plans, will you? You know. But yeah. Over on this side, I do manage to like somewhat nullify his Fey Knight by just flying around him, and the Fey Knight now can't see anything. I'm still so far away from the other one that I haven't lost anything from that position. But I just didn't gain anything. And now I have got a Fey Knight that could easily just be right in my backfield. Yeah. So I still don't feel that I've taken the advantage away. I've just kind of paused that advantage for Raughri slightly. Yeah. So
there's some cool models as well.
Oh, massively. They're beautiful. The whole army is amazing. And yeah, my Raptors are just sort of like tentatively moving up because I've already lost that flank to Rory's Fey Knights. There's no point in my Raptors now stopping the other one from getting up. So I focus very much on the center. Robbie does this, which to be expected really in his turn 2. Gets the other Fey Knight up and around. Not at all bothered about Meramphodon's charging.
I was gonna say,
because
the
Fey Knight has like it's got like agility 7 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's so quick, and he's got like 5 attacks at like really high strength or whatnot. Or maybe it's the hitting that's really good. But basically, I think I do ask Raughri what's the stat line in that thing, and he lists like 2 things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not charging that. Like even if everything went super well, I'd still be dead before I struck. So that's with things going super well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair enough. And like I say, the other Fey Knight is right in my flank. They didn't have light troops, interestingly. So Robbie had to do a lot of 1-inch wheels to get in the right place. So that Fey Knight that you saw move into my flank, there was a point where Rory like moved it all the way around the back of me, and I said, "Has he got light troops?" Because I didn't think he had. And Rory's like, "No." I was like, "Well, actually, you need to be a bit more technical in your movement rather than pick him up and moving him behind me," which I think a lot of people were struggling with in this version of 3.0 at this point.
And I think it got changed as well, the way you do it afterwards as well. So it was a bit of a...
Exactly. Yeah. He didn't pull the trigger in the middle. In fact, just pretty much stayed where he was because he's super cool, Mr. Rory. Now, what do you notice about this picture?
He's changed it. Max taste, no sugar.
Well, that is true. But also, we realised the beer didn't belong to either of us.
Oh.
That's the funny story that I was waiting to tell you. That beer was on the table.
Did David come back for it? Is that what it is?
No one claimed it. We literally just moved it somewhere else. I don't even know where Rory moved it. But yeah, funny story, isn't it? That's the highlight of the battle for me. It was neither of our beers.
Get to the point and go, Rory, can you move your beer, please?
Well, I don't think I needed to because it wasn't in the way. But basically, suddenly we both noticed it and said, "Is this yours? Is this yours?" No. There you go.
Incredible.
I was working. Couldn't wait to tell you that.
So, let us know if you see it pop up again.
Yes, I expect it won't. But, yeah. Either way, it's a standoff over here until his shooting phase.
Oh goodness me.
Because yeah, it's just, jeez. I am not rerollable. That's probably on me. I am discipline 8, cold-blooded. I shouldn't fail 2 panic tests, but I do. Obviously, it's not rerollable, so that is a thing. You can
Sure.
still fail a cold-blooded 8, but I didn't really think that having lost just 3 skinks, which caused a
That's
panic on the
pretty annoying,
hunters,
isn't it?
they would then run through the mystics,
That is pretty
which caused a
annoying.
panic on the mystics, and then they failed their panic. And not only that, but the mystics like sprint 12 inches, the hunters go nowhere, and I've lost that flank too.
And just like run into the building. Oh,
Just run into the building and honk, like proper cartoon style. So yeah, I mean, I've changed it up with Dr. Pepper as well.
I know. Yeah.
I've remembered I don't like beer, so yeah. Oh boy, my flank has fallen. So I do something kind of quirky with my Ramphidons, knowing that they can't win a combat, but also thinking I need to do something with my Raptors. Now, ignore what the Raptors and the Cowboys have done just for a second, okay? Just block that out of your mind.
Go on,
I thought I was
quite. Don't know what you're about.
I thought I was quite good with my little Ramphidons because they are blocking both of the Fey Knights from doing anything in the middle. The Fey Knights could not charge into my Raptor unit. Now, we'll go back to the Raptor Riders here. I decided that Raughri wasn't taking my bait and he wasn't charging into the spears, which is kind of sensible because obviously the lethal strike, and even if you don't include the ruins because of Stalker standard, etc. I wanted to force him to make a move, and I figured this was a good way of doing that by putting both cowboys out as a unit in front of the Knights of the Quest. And I was doing that to be quite ballsy because they are Knights of the Quest and they're very good. And if they charge into my cowboys, there's not a good chance necessarily, but there's a chance they could go through my cowboys. I do have a potion of swiftness on one of them, so one of them would be striking before the Knights of the Quest. So I was hoping to do a bit before he killed me or whatnot. But I was thinking this is a move where I can force the game. And that was because the Cowboys could get out of line of sight of the Knights of the Realm. What I had then had an absolute brain fart over was the fact that I moved the Raptors so close to the Knights of the Realm, which I don't need to do because the Cowboys have run forward and got out of line of sight of the Knights of the Realm. Now my Raptors just need to wait for the spoils to come up or benefit from what the Cowboys have forced.
Yeah.
But it's very obvious that by moving my Raptors there, you know what's going to happen. But I didn't see it.
But you didn't.
I didn't. And so, yeah. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But, yeah. Over here, full River standoff. His Scorpions do start doing an amazing job on the Thyroscutus and do 3 out of 4 wounds.
Yeah.
And that's like so terrifying. To be honest, I need to really assess the Thyroscutus in that unit. It's something I've played for a little while. I like playing it because I painted a model and I like that model, but I'm not sure it's competitive when it can get picked out so easily.
Yeah,
it just dies before it does anything. Darren did it. Rory's done it now. I'm not sure it did anything in the tournament
because it's only 4 wounds, isn't it? 4 wounds.
4 wounds.
Yeah.
2 up armor is great, but not when it's reduced to a 5 up armor or worse.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I can't remember if the Skinks rally or not. They might do, but whatever. I buff up this unit because I haven't really seen what I am telling you I've seen now. Because I buff them up because I really want them to survive against the Quest.
Yeah,
which is understandable.
That's it.
But obviously, that happens, and now I.
And he doesn't even go in with the Questing Knights. What poor form.
Yeah, we just need to go in with the Questing Knights because I've buffed my Cowboys to high hell, and I mean, I don't think I've got anything more to say about that.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Where's that beer?
Yeah, that's too. You've clearly drunk it. That's the issue.
Yeah. But it's even worse because not only does he not go in with the Questing Knights, but he actually gets round my cowboys. I mean, how insulting!
That's pretty. Yes,
I mean,
and he
yeah,
didn't need to do it with his finger up to you the whole time, did he?
I know, yeah, double finger, I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no way of explaining it other than that is just really poor play on my part. Really,
like I say, just game of 5, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to force the situation. I misjudged it completely. Basically, is
overextended. I think they call that.
Yeah, yeah. He brings his yeoman forward to chaff my Tigu warriors, but that's basically just to keep them honest, really, from charging in Knights of the Realm. Over here, he does the double charge on the Rampedons, which was part of the plan.
And we see the good work over there. Those Rampedons are doing.
Yeah, exactly. They were fine, but obviously he doesn't need his Fey Knights when he gets such a lovely charge off there in the middle. Yeah. Light shooting does a few more kills, or one more kill on the Tegu. We don't need to talk about this picture either at all. Press next.
Things happened. It was not.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, he didn't attack the Carnosaur at all, which he shouldn't do.
Okay.
The Carnosaur runs away, but the unit is decimated, so they're gone basically. I think technically the Carnosaur isn't decimated. Well, I don't know.
Is it one of those while he's with the unit? The unit is.
Yeah.
It's like characters,
it's
right?
But if attached or whatnot.
The unit is gone, and he's on his own. Then he's gravy.
Yeah. So technically, the rider should have been. The Carnosaur should still be able to.
Yeah.
But
no, because that is
so
decimated as a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Spoiler: it won't matter in a minute. I declare these charges because I know how much of a stuff up I've now made, and I literally just have to go for what I can get. Really, I don't expect the Tegu warriors to do much against the Knights of the Quest, but I kind of think maybe they could stop them from charging to give my Tegu warriors in the middle a bit of a chance. But I'm also aware that the Questing Knights have got the old bastard swords, so they're still strength 5.
Yeah.
So I know that's not ideal either. My Cowboys charge the Scorpion because yay me.
Yeah. You're in his backfield.
Yeah. His yeoman pick off the last wound on Thyroscutus, which is just annoying.
I believe. And this,
no, it was dangerous terrain. Terrain. Yeah, dangerous terrain. Yeah, I kill him myself. Thanks.
That's so brutal.
Oh, it really is. It really is so brutal.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, technically, thinking about it, should dangerous terrain have picked out the Thyroscutus? Because it should be testing as a unit, shouldn't I? I don't know.
Pass.
I did it. No, I was happy with it at the time because I didn't care by that point. So whatever. The Carnosaur doesn't rally because apparently he doesn't want to pass a discipline 8 check either.
Nice.
No one does in this battle. I think the units that fled a little while ago are probably just either still running or chilling. I can't remember. We may get a picture of them later.
But anyway, you got your tango ready this time around.
I've got my yeah. Hey, that's a nice tango. It's like mango flavors. It's delicious.
Other tangos are available.
Better than beer. It was only one of the Cowboys that charged the Scorpion, by the way. The other one turns around to look at his army getting destroyed behind him.
Come on, what?
Yeah. Pretty much. I do kill the yeoman, so yay me for points.
Points, baby.
Yeah,
and the Scorpion.
And the Scorpion, yes. So the other one turns around, looks behind, and says, "How's it going, Oh." This wasn't too bad. It's relatively respectable from the Mystics. I killed 3, he killed 4. And so yeah, I think that's not a bad turnaround, really, considering they've got armor and I haven't.
Yeah. That is good.
What kills the Carnosaur? I think it ran off. I think it failed 2 rally checks. Because there's nothing else here that can kill.
Is this him
5-wound Carnosaur
fleeing you off with his Fey Knight?
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, so that Fey Knight's gonna
charge you off the board.
I think I chose. I think I would have chosen to flee so that he failed a charge.
Okay. Can you can do
Because
that when
if
you're shaken? No.
you can, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can. You can choose to hold or flee, and I think I chose to flee so that he failed the charge and didn't get much movement. Whereas what you could have done is hold and then be
And
removed
then
from
just
start
die.
combat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, I was dying, but I think I chose to flee off the board
Yep.
to live to fight another day, sort of.
In a way, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Um, over here, I think I moved the Tegu warriors like this
I think this is again
to
hidden charging.
yeah. So I think I fled the Knights of the Realm, um, kind of hoping that I could distract one of his units from charging my other Tegu warriors in
Yeah.
the ruins. Um, I know I'm going down hard at this point. There's really not much to it. Yeah, you can see the mounted sergeants have regrown back to their full strength, and I wish I'd never bothered learning that rule.
Just like your Raptor
targeting them
rider.
at all.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah, yeah. They're
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 not.
they're
They're not
they're
there.
spawned back on the board. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Although the hunters look like they've come back to have a look at the table. It looks like the mystics have fled off the board and I've reformed them as a unit. But yeah, it's going so badly that I've started just tidying up my units,
Backing
ready
away.
for home time. And you can see from the middle combat, yeah. I mean, sergeants just to annoy me even more, charge the hunters. Everything's charged in the middle, and
This overrunning from the warriors. This one.
yeah, because they had fled the original charge, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's all a bit dismal. But I was still enjoying playing
Yeah,
Raughri.
good fun. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, this was still a pleasure. But yeah, he was just
It's just
dismantling
terrible
in
to
every way.
report on, folks.
Yeah,
Just to give you a bit of an insight, when you have a
yeah,
bad game
and you have to do a battle
and you
report
have to
on it.
report on it, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you have to talk about all your mistakes and how
So what
terribly
happened
you
here,
played.
Hyper G?
Yeah, you know what happened here. I died horribly. And also, obviously, this checks off him getting into the terrain piece to plunder it. So this confirms that the secondary objective is his. And yeah, please let us end this torment. I don't think my Raptor riders even get the chance to do any kind of counter charge. They literally would see the battle over. There's
Just
no point in
survive
them
and just
going in.
walk off
Yeah,
into the
exactly.
horizon.
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point we were kind of like, there's not even much point in them running towards the Scorpion or the Archers, so because his knights would have turned around and got back at me if I'd have tried to do something like
Sure.
that. So yeah, but that's the last picture. I don't have a lot left on the board. I think pretty much just the Cowboys surviving. To be fair, but I get the Yeoman points, so woohoo!
And that
and a
that
Scorpion.
might have saved you.
It might have saved me. Got me a point. So yeah, Rory gets the secondary, which was the primary, and 19 whole victory points. So well played, Rory. I mean, I'm going to say well played because you did play it well. You know, I tried a few things to force you into doing some things. None of them worked because Rory's just too good for that. And plus, even I can see that when I tried to force it, I made some critical errors that Rory's too good of a player not to exploit. So, you know, yeah. But I should have been better with that move with the Cowboys and the Raptors. I mean, if the Raptors just stay another 4 inches back, then maybe the Cowboy move isn't a terrible one, depending on.
Yeah.
I moved them as far as I could, so they couldn't have gone any further to trap the Questers from moving past me. That was impossible. But yeah, I think maybe I'd have just been better off keeping the Cowboys in the unit and backing off a bit and forcing him to do it that way, playing the long game.
So it's
but
hard
yeah,
though
no.
when you're trying to force them for some points.
Yeah. So I finished on 30 points in the tournament, which is pretty poor for my standards. Or not my standards. I'm probably about there generally. But I like to finish on 50 if I can.
It's one of your lower.
So it's one of my lower ones. Yeah. There were a few other people who had some not great tournament either, so I wasn't, in the bottom 5. I don't think, but still lower side of the half. But I had a really good time. I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Enjoyed playing Saurians. Will continue with Saurians in my next few battles with Ninth Age in the new 3.0. I felt like my list wasn't competitive in the phases. Like, I wasn't competitive in magic phase, wasn't competitive in shooting phase. Other people out combated me. And when you
Sure,
don't
yeah.
do well in those 3 phases, and I don't
Yeah.
think I was great at movement, I just don't think my list was very good. And that surprised me after the battles, because I thought it was all right going into the tournament. But it was
Yeah.
very clear that it wasn't a good list. So we live, we learn. That's why we play.
We do.
That's why
And
we report.
hey, we make the mistake so you don't have to, folks. As
Yeah, and
always, as we always say.
we are running out of time on this report, so we need to do
Yes.
another quick one. So like, share, subscribe, comment, join us on Patreon, do all the wonderful things you do, and we'll
Yeah.
see you for the next version of 3.0.
Yes, which we're very excited to get into. So until then, see you later.